Welcome, everybody. Hold on. Here we are. Welcome, everybody. Glad to be with you tonight. We're really excited. I want to talk about something that everybody seems to be talking about in gig world, but I want to give a different perspective tonight. Welcome, Lucian. How are you doing tonight? We have our topic of the night: maximizing earnings. Maximizing earnings, smart strategies for financial growth as a gig worker, or alternatively titled, How to Cherry Pick in 2024. And we'll do it this way. All right, how to cherry pick. Wow, I can't talk at all tonight. How to cherry pick gig delivery in 2024. Hello, Kat. How's it going? Hope that you guys are doing well. So one of the more popular trends I keep seeing everywhere on YouTube is cherry picking is dead. The era of cherry picking is over. You just have to do whatever these apps tell you to do, and that's it. All right, so I'm going to address what I think is true about that, but I also think there's a lot that's not true, and I want to start to expand our definition of what cherry picking truly is and what sort of things you can control, because I'm not really fatalistic when it comes to this gig delivery work. Are there parts of it that are out of your control? Absolutely. Are there going to be bad days? Are there going to be good days no matter what? Absolutely. But I believe that you can, on average, have a better day than the average person in your market. You're allergic to cherries. All right. Well, then I'll call it apple picking for you. But that's basically the premise. I believe that you can have a better than average day than the average person in your market. In other words, if you implement strategies and you really think through what you're doing and you're not merely just rushing to get orders done, and you're actually looking to have a servant's heart to help other people, I believe that will open up opportunities for you to make a lot more than the average person in your market. And I'm going to give a story from yesterday that you'll also get to see whenever the video gets produced. So if you can bookmark it, the September 10th video is going to have this whole series documented that I'm going to do. But here are some things, and I wish I had slightly better notes going into tonight ready than what I do, but there are lots of things that you can cherry pick beyond just the orders. But we're going to start with the most obvious thing. So cherry pick, number one, the orders. Okay? Used to DoorDash, had to give it up, tired of the fraudster customers. Yeah, and I mean there are a lot of bad apples out there as you're cherry picking or apple picking, and certain markets I'm sure are significantly worse than others. But these principles will actually kind of work in a variety of different markets and a variety of different things. How's it going, Lisa? Good to talk to you again. Congratulations again on choosing the tip, picking the right tip. So, um, so first of all, can you still cherry pick your orders? Yes, you can. You can, you can, you can. You can still cherry pick your orders in 2024. Now, that is going to vary on the app and on the platform you're using and the overall amount of platforms that you're using and on how valuable each individual platform is for you. So what I cannot tell you is, I cannot tell you that if you do this, if you are a platinum dasher and do this, I can just tell you this is what works in my market, but I'm constantly questioning whether what I say works in my market is best. Part of this whole $200 gig challenge that I'm doing for this channel is I'm not just doing the same thing every single day. I'm trying out different strategies to see if, look, this strategy might massively fail, but it's not going to fail because I didn't give it a good run. It's going to fail because it's just a bad strategy or it's just a bad day. And you've got to figure these things out for yourself. But you can cherry pick orders. I cherry pick all my orders, again, I'm just giving my personal, I cherry pick very strictly on Grubhub and Uber Eats. I never take a Grubhub or Uber Eats order that I don't want to take. Okay? It's just as simple as that. I never take it. Now, what if they change? What if they force you to? Well, you know what? If what ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. I'm not going to worry about those things until relevant announcements are made that are going to impact my market. Just like I didn't worry about DoorDash tiers until I knew it was coming to my market. And when it did, I had a strategy and a plan in place that I wanted to start with. And then from there, I test on. But Grubhub, Uber Eats, I'm not taking any orders on there that I don't want to take because there's just no need. I would rather just sit and do nothing than to take really, really poor orders. Instacart, I cherry pick a lot, but I am heading to the point in the month or really in the quarter where I'm going to need to pick more Instacart orders. And I've started to increase with frequency the amount of Instacart orders I'm taking. I am Diamond Cart. I want to be Diamond Cart for fourth quarter, for October, November, December, because that's when our season starts. And I want to make sure I have the best chance of getting as many good orders as possible October, November, December. In order to be Diamond Cart, I need to complete another 66 orders by the end of September. Now that sounds like a lot, but you're talking in roughly 20 days, so I need to do 3 or 4 a day. However, that is slightly more than I take on average, so I am starting to take more Instacart orders than I normally take now because I don't want to be needing 20 Instacart orders with 2 days to go. So I am cherry picking a little bit less there, but for a particular reason, for a particular strategy. Yes, I'm not wearing the shirt tonight, Lisa, but yes, decline and recline all day, right? You can do that. You can cherry pick those things. But if you're not going to cherry pick, if you're going to take everything, you should do it with a specific purpose or reason in mind. But what I want to really address here is if, let's say, you're feeling like you're forced, okay? Let's say specifically on DoorDash, a lot of people feel forced into the platinum tier, okay? Some of you don't care, and some of you, it's working out just fine. I dipped below platinum on this challenge here, and I'm going to tell you a couple of things that were absolutely amazing to me. When I was platinum tier, not only could I dash now anytime, but the map was always red. The map was red. There was just random times throughout the day. I'd be like, we need more dashers. We need more things. But as soon as I went down to the silver tier, because there was no gold in between, just went straight to the silver tier, all of a sudden, it was never red, even the same times a day that it normally was red. It never let me know, hey, we need dashers right now. It was almost impossible to get on other than the times that I had already scheduled. And I was only able to schedule those times when I was a platinum dasher. And when I fell below, then I had about 6 days worth of dashes scheduled out. And I needed about 5.5 of them to get from 62% back up into the 70s. So I did not like that because I did not have access to dash at a regular point in time. And in my market, it certainly felt like the order quality went down. It felt like it was just almost impossible. And I mean on everything. So when I do earn by time, on average, I'm averaging $5 to $7 tips on most of my earn by time when I'm platinum. As soon as I went to silver, most of my earn by time tips were $0 to $2. I mean, it was crazy. And as soon as I got back up to platinum, the average tip on my earn by time went up significantly. I made less money. Now, can I say conclusively that that's true for every person in every market? No. But I can say on a 5-day test run, I have no interest in going back to the silver tier anytime. Exact same thing happened to you. That's good to know, Lisa, that it was the same. I mean, it's amazing. And now that I'm back on platinum, like I'll just see. I haven't even checked here. Let's just see. Because this is not a busy time in my market right now. So I just want to see if it happened. Look at this. Red. Absolutely red on platinum tier. Right? And it's like, oh yeah, like we have plenty of need. But I could almost guarantee you if I were at silver right now that this would not be red and I would not be able to dash. Lucian, I wish DoorDash would hire professional drivers. My coworker placed an order. The driver shows up looking like he drove into a dumpster sticker on one hand. Coworkers are, yeah, that's not good. And I've actually been thinking about this, Lucian, even for myself, that I think I need to step up my game. I think I actually probably need to start dressing a little bit better than I have been. I don't know exactly what that looks like because it's hard because I get hot and sweaty all the time. But I've kind of been challenged by a lot of this Jordan Peterson stuff that I'm doing. Yeah, I just got a contract violation too. Mine was for arriving at the restaurant too late because they assigned me a place that was like way far away. I got it in this last week. So, but here's what I want to talk about. Cherry picking on DoorDash, on the platinum tier specifically, is not just about cherry picking offers. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. And so it'll be interesting to see if I get unthrottled like you, if I notice a difference. I have to complete probably another 80 orders to get that one off. So I'm trying to push that out as much as I can. Okay. So cherry picking number one is the number one. That's the cherry picking that people have traditionally talked about. You just cherry pick the orders. You pick the best orders. Okay. But here's we're going to go here with cherry pick number two. Okay. Which is this. When you deliver. Okay. Cherry pick number two. Good evening, Kevin. How are you doing tonight? So cherry pick number two is the traditional, the orders that you take. But cherry pick number two is when you deliver. And specifically in this context, when do you actually sign on to DoorDash? I, yesterday, without spoiling day 10 for when you get there, had the best day that I have had in months. And I hit my, I won't tell you the total, but I hit my $200 goal without turning on DoorDash once yesterday. Because I was starting to sense that, not always, but some days being on DoorDash actually costs me money because I end up running all these $5 to $7 offers all over town, raking up the miles and not being able to sit and actually take good Instacart orders. And yesterday I had good Instacart orders. But here's the problem. Today I tried the same exact thing and there weren't good Instacart orders. And so then it wasn't able to keep up. So what I learned today is start assuming I don't need DoorDash. But as soon as I realize the day is slow, then just suck it up, buttercup. Get on DoorDash. In my case, in my town, I would just get on DoorDash, earn by time, and just plow through a bunch of offers to keep the money rolling and just rack up the miles. That's just going to be what it's going to be. But that's a strategy that I still think I want to employ because I think defaulting to DoorDash at the beginning of the day is kind of a surrender flag, right? It's just waving a surrender flag. All right, DoorDash, I'm just going to do whatever you tell me to do. Because my breakfast and lunch orders in town on weekdays are very poor. Our business professionals in my town are some of the poorest tippers that I deliver to. In fact, I would say on average, the average business professional tips less than the average trailer park resident in my town. Now, that's not saying the average rich person, because the average rich people in my town tip the best. Okay, the people who live in the multi-million-dollar homes are the ones that I regularly am pulling out 10, 15, 20 plus dollar tips, and occasionally the 60, 70, $80 tips. Okay, but just when I'm delivering to a business, odds are it's going to be a low tip. I just know that's how my town works, and it's been that way consistently for a year and a half. The business professionals don't tip well. So therefore, if I turn on DoorDash for breakfast or for lunch, most of the time I'm either going to get lots of $4 for 1 mile platinum orders, or I'm just going to go on earn by time and get $6 for 5 mile with $1 tip orders. So I think my strategy going forward is default to Instacart and Shipt and try to get deliver that and fill in Grubhub and Uber Eats when they send me great orders. And then if the orders aren't coming in like today, I should have pivoted and turned to DoorDash quicker. But in general, I am going to cherry pick when I deliver on DoorDash. And then I turned on DoorDash for supper tonight, and the only orders I got all of supper time was DoorDash. And they were all the orders I took were either platinum plus orders, and I live streamed that. Some of you guys were on there with that, so you saw that. Okay. So cherry pick when you turn on DoorDash. And people have this idea like I have to have DoorDash on all the time. No, you don't. That's the whole point. And that's the benefit of Platinum is you just get to pick the time that you're on DoorDash. So cherry pick when you deliver. Okay. Cherry pick number 3. Where you set up. I would kind of say where you deliver, but you can't really control that. So this is a key thing. And this is just as true on earn by time as it is on earn per offer. Okay. I show you guys, I have my downtown strip and it's about 10 miles. And anywhere in that 10-mile strip is a good place to be. And other than one road, so I have like this T, right? So I can do this main 10-mile downtown strip, or this is, I would say maybe it's like a 5-mile cross section T. Anywhere in this T is good. Anywhere outside of that T, it just gets progressively worse. So when I am delivering on DoorDash, the key button that I use on a regular basis is pause orders after delivery, because acceptance rate matters to me on DoorDash. I will often and regularly pause orders, and I'm like super, super picky. If I get much more than 1 or 2 miles away from where I want to be, I know if I get outside those zones, most of the time it's going to keep sending me out further. Now, of course, if I can get a Grubhub or an Instacart or an Uber Eats that takes me back into my zone, that's ideal. But unless I'm just pushing through and I don't care because I have to get like 1 or 2 more orders to reach a goal or something like that, other than particular circumstances, as soon as I get far away from this T, what was I showing you? This way, however I was showing you. As soon as I get far away from that, pause orders after delivery. And then I work my way back to where I want to be, and then I will hit restart. I will tell you on a day, if I'm delivering DoorDash, I would say 1 out of every 2 to 3 orders, I'm pausing orders after delivery until I get back to where I want to be. And it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so I see people, there's a group of people. I've been at Panera a lot more because of the SIP cut. And there's a group of people that does Uber Eats, and they're all friends, and they sit at the same Panera every morning. And I've been there a couple of times where I watch, and the same exact Uber order will go to every single one of them sitting in a circle, and they all decline it. And I'm thinking, I understand you're friends and you want to hang out, and if it's just a hobby, that's fine. But the last thing that I want to be doing is trying to get an order from that Panera when there's 5 or 6 Uber drivers sitting in that Panera, right? I want to be spread out. I want to pick where I want to set up. Now, my recommendation for you, if you're just starting this gig delivery or trying to up your game, is I want you to pick a place that the average meal for a family of 4 will be at least $50. Okay? That's where I want you to be setting up. That is fast casual. I don't want you to be setting up at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's on a regular basis during a supper time rush, because you're going to be the closest in proximity and you're going to get hit with those orders that are, they might be the best McDonald's order, but the best McDonald's order is not going to compare with the best Carrabba's or Outback Steakhouse order that's coming through that night. And I can just tell you from my experience over the last couple, I would say 6 months, it seems like they're really honing in on giving orders to the absolute closest person possible whenever possible. I used to be able to get really good orders from 5 miles away, sometimes even up to 10 miles away. I would get catering orders. But now, if I'm not sitting in the Carrabba's parking lot or across the street, I'm probably not seeing a Carrabba's order on DoorDash or Uber Eats. It's just not going to come my way. Now, Grubhub is just like the wild child, and they send you random stuff from all over the place. So sometimes that works. But in general, if I want to be seeing Carrabba's orders or Outback orders, then I need to be sitting near Carrabba's or near Outback. And if I don't want to be getting Taco Bell orders, you know where I need to be? As far away from Taco Bell as possible. And so what you want to do is you want to cherry pick where you set up. And sometimes it's like, sometimes if I'm trying to go on Earn by Time, I know there's a limited block of time that Earn by Time will be available because there's so many slots and it fills up. So I'll literally start my dash on Earn by Time, and then I'll immediately pause the dash because I see, okay, Earn by Time is available. I want to lock it in for the next 6 hours because I'm just delivering anything. I'm going to lock it in. And then I will, once it's locked in, then I'll go drive to where I want to be, take the first order. And the first order might be $6 for 1 mile or whatever, 1 mile order. So I go take it. Then the next order takes me 12 miles. Okay, I'm going to take the order. but I'm going to pause after delivery, go drop it off, and then work my way back to wherever I want to be. Now, I try to get back to an area I want to be as quick as possible, but I have found that absolutely I save, if I don't pause, I end up taking orders that just take me further and further away from anything good or where I want to be, or way out into the boonies or places that I don't have good cell phone signal, all these things. And so I want to be in control. And so if you're not thinking about these things, then you want to think about it. Now, so that's cherry pick number 3. Where you set up? Pause it right away yourself. Absolutely. Throw the tea into the bay. Okay. Don't speak bad about my free sweet tea I got tonight. All right. This is cherry pick number 4. And this kind of goes in hand with cherry pick number 3, but I want to explain this. Cherry pick number 4 is where you deliver. Well, what do you mean cherry pick where you deliver? Let's say that you're in a smaller area and you don't have a ton of fast casual restaurants, but you might be in a town that has 3 or 4 McDonald's. So you're forced to set up at a McDonald's. Well, which one do you pick? You pick the one that's closest to your best tipping customers. You pick the one that's closest to your best tipping customers. So I have a McDonald's and a Starbucks that are downtown, that are in basically the same plaza as a Fresh Market across the street from a Carrabba's. When I'm set up at Carrabba's or Fresh Market, do I occasionally get those Starbucks or McDonald's orders? Yes. But I would say 2/3 of the time, they're still going to good tipping locations. Why? Because that McDonald's is serving a bunch of multi-million-dollar homes. So the odds of that McDonald's going to a multi-million-dollar home is pretty high. And so if I have to take a McDonald's, if I have to take a Starbucks, I want it to be most likely to go to a high dollar area, a high tipping area. And if you think about this too, if you have super high end restaurants, we're talking now where you're talking more $40 to $50 a plate, let alone $40 to $50 for a family of 4. Those restaurants are generally going to be ordered by people who are more affluent, and at least in my market, more affluent generally means better tippers. Is it a perfect correlation? No. Are there less affluent people who order from these restaurants occasionally? Yes. Are there affluent people who do not tip that order from these restaurants occasionally? Yes. But on average, you're talking these restaurants are giving, even if they're the same percentage tips, because the orders are high, a $100 order with a 10% tip is still a $10 tip. It's no more work for you to deliver a milkshake for McDonald's than it is to deliver a filet mignon from a high-end steakhouse. It's the same amount of work for you. So you want to look at which one is more likely to have the better tip. And so by choosing, in part, like I said, the 3 and 4 tie together, but if you choose in part where you set up, you're also going to be choosing in part where you deliver. Okay? So who you deliver to, that's essentially the same thing. All right, here's cherry pick number 5. When to cancel. All right. Now this gets a little dicey here, right? This is where we get into the murky waters of should I cancel, cancellation rate, different things like that. When do you cancel? And when to cancel. What do I mean by this? First of all, if you are in a situation where you're trying to keep your acceptance rate high, you also need to keep your completion rate high. I recommend your completion rate not dip casually below 97%, because you want to have the ability to decline 1 or 2 or cancel 1 or 2 horrible orders in a row. But one thing a lot of people don't realize is if you are waiting at a restaurant for at least 10 minutes, you can cancel worry-free on DoorDash, and it does not affect your completion rate. A lot of people don't understand this. Now, I recommend you don't abuse that, but like I would never use that on a $10 plus order, right? Where there might be a $20 hidden tip. I'm not going to risk that. But if you know this is a $5 for 1 mile and you've been sitting there 10 minutes, time that sucker out. Or let's say you're on earn by time and it's like, yeah, you won't get paid for that time. But if you're like, this drop off location is 15 miles away and it's been 10 minutes since I got this order, time it out. Use the tools that they allow you to use because you don't know how long they're there. Yeah, I'm at 97% now. I got down to 96% when I was actively trying to get my acceptance rate up to the 70% because I was desperate. So I was like accepting like anything because I was like, I have to. And then I was like, I got down to 96 and I stopped there. I believe, I can't prove this. I can't force this on any of you. But if you're going for Platinum Dasher, your completion rate should never be 100%. Unless you feel absolutely convinced that's going to get you better orders, your completion rate should never be 100%. I just, unless every single order you get is a banger, every single order is delivered on time, I just don't see a reason why. In the same way, so your acceptance rate should never be 100%. I don't think your completion rate should be 100%. Now, at some point in time, they might raise the standard where it's mandatory, and then you have to readjust. But right now, every little edge you have is an edge you have that someone else isn't using. So you have an edge. If your acceptance rate is, so I like to be between 73 and 75. Okay, that's where I like to be. For my acceptance rate, my completion rate, I like to be 98, 99, but I usually end up around 97. Because I have a low tolerance for putting up with bad orders. Now, you're going to pick your own rules for you, okay? But the point is, you have the freedom to cancel and you have multiple ways to cancel. You don't have to go out of your way to sit through waiting for an order for a long time. Now, there will be exceptions. There'll be times it'll be worth waiting. And you'll know what those times are. I remember I think it was on Valentine's Day this year, I had a catering order and it was like a $25 plus. Like I ended up waiting for an hour, but it's like at that point, if I cancel and accept another catering order, this was before the new tiers had rolled out. But if I do that, there's just as good of a chance I'm gonna have to wait an hour at the next place anyway. So it's like, I'm in. I know I'm gonna get paid 25 bucks plus for my hour plus worth of work. It's like, it's just gonna be where it is. But you have to take the tools that you have and the variants that you have and do that. And again, unless you're getting paid like California style, I don't think your acceptance rate should ever really be creeping much near 80% unless you really believe it's getting you better orders. Because if it's not getting you any better orders, then every order that you take that's not ideal, that's put you in that 80 to 85 to 90%, it's just a loss compared to a better order that you could be taking in your market. So I understand everyone's going to have different thoughts on this, but my point is cherry pick, cherry pick, cherry pick. So you want to cherry pick, first of all, which orders you take. You want to cherry pick when you deliver, and specifically when you log on and use certain apps. You want to cherry pick where you set up. You want to cherry pick who you deliver, where you deliver, who you deliver to, or where you deliver. You want to cherry pick when to cancel. All of these things piece together and then build that network of things that you have. Now, if you want to do, I'll give you the bonus. Here's the bonus cherry pick, because it's always good to give a bonus for a YouTube video, which is, and I know some of this won't apply to every one of you. I know in certain markets you have more freedom than others, but you can cherry pick bonus the types of offers and the types of orders that you accept. So if you're just a horribly slow shopper, unless it's an amazing shopping order, and I always recommend if you're a starter, 1, 2, 15, $1 an item, $2 a mile, $15 minimum for shopping orders. Shopping orders, especially on these apps that are not designed for shopping, like Uber Eats and DoorDash. DoorDash's shopping mechanism is horrible. The best shopping mechanism by far is that I've used is Shipt. I don't like the platform as a whole, but the shopping mechanism is amazing. They're like right on with the aisles. You can correct it in the app and tell it like This is in the wrong spot. This moved. This is, yeah, exactly. Lisa, that's exactly it. If you don't want to do shopping orders, turn them off. Like, and honestly, I told someone the other night when I delivered, I said, sorry, this was like really difficult, but like, honestly, I deliver on a bunch of platforms, and I'd recommend it to them that like you should probably just do your grocery stuff on Instacart, because you're going to get people who signed up to shop, right? So the problem with ordering a grocery shopping order through Uber Eats or DoorDash is a lot of people who sign up to deliver food, not to shop. So if you don't want to do that, or if you want to know you're not going to get shopping orders, turn them off. Okay. On some of these platforms, some it's harder than others, but if you don't want to do alcohol or orders, turn them off. I get tempted, it's like I get tempted both ways. I had to do an alcohol return today, but I got paid more to return it than I was to deliver it in the first place. So I guess it kind of worked out. If you don't like them, turn them off. If you can't turn them off, if you don't like them, don't take them, and just give yourself enough margin so that you can decline them anytime that you want to. All right, and I'll give you, this is cherry pick bonus number 2, or yeah. We'll call it cherry pick bonus, and this is specifically to DoorDash. Earn per offer versus earn by time. Okay, you can cherry pick the style in which orders will come to you, and Lisa and I have had some good conversations on this, where she'll only do earn by time when there's bonus. Okay, and I certainly think that makes sense. When in my market, when there's bonus pay going on, I'm almost guaranteed $25 an hour. When they do like the nice bonus pay, the other night they were doing like, I think it was like $19.50 an hour, and I've just killed it for a couple hours because everybody threw like a $2 to $5 tip on. You get 2 orders done in that hour. So you got to learn your market. For me, I just do it as account maintenance sometimes, because it's like I know there's bad orders out there, and I go into it with I'm taking every order. I'm going to be out delivering for the next 5 hours. I'm going to take every order. I'm just going on earn by time. And I know I'm going to rack up the miles, but the trade-off is I'm going to boost my acceptance rate, or I'm going to push out contract violation as quick as possible. I'm going to get my 100 orders. I'm going to get my completion rate up. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I thought about making a short, right? Like me on earn per offer, race into the restaurant, grab the food, race to the car, drive as fast as I can, drop it off. Me on earn by time, walk into the restaurant, go to the bathroom, wash my face, go browse the menu, drive, below the speed limit by 5 miles an hour, stop as soon as the light starts to turn yellow, right? Not that you really should, but if you've not tried it in your market, try them both and figure out what works. Lisa knows what works in her market. I know what works in my market. And you know what? Sometimes I do earn by time, and I think I'm going into it that I'm ready to do it. And I do like 3 or 4 orders in a row, and they're junk. And I'm just like, okay, forget it. My mind's not there. I can't do this right now, so I'm going to just turn it off. And if you want the bonus of all bonuses, cherry pick to just turn the app off, right? Just turn it off. Nobody's forcing you to do these apps. Now, I encourage you strongly to keep track of your metrics so that it's a whole lot easier to maintain metrics than it is to get them back. Yeah, take the side streets, take the scenic route, miss the exit by accident. Now, in principle, I would encourage you obviously not to do that. And as long as your drop off is in a good location, you might as well get another order, because 3 orders with the tip on them is better than 2 orders with the tip on them, assuming you're getting orders right away. But I will never, let me put it this way, I will never hesitate to use the bathroom when I'm on earn by time. Get paid to pee. That's not a t-shirt that I'm going to be making anytime soon. By time, get paid to pee. So the point is, you've got a lot more control over this than most people are telling you that you have. Okay, so don't buy into this idea that you have no control. You're just at the mercy at whatever these apps send you. How's it going, Shane? I'll get to that question in a little bit. I want to wrap this up, but I will get to that in a little bit. So you have control, and we talked about last week. Never take an order that makes you dislike the platform or dislike the customer. And I'll give you one. This is my closing story, and then we'll do what we're drinking. Then I'll answer questions and any other comments that I missed. Okay. Go big with going against whatever people in your market are doing. Most people in my market are rushing. They are all about speed. Okay. They are all about, I want to get the order picked up and delivered as quick as possible. And as a result, they're running over. Yeah, Shane, I will get there. Don't worry. I'm going to get to it. The short answer is yes. So just type more questions that you have about it specifically, and I'll share some stuff and answer your questions in just a minute. But yes, I have sold and actually have stuff currently up on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. They're rushing. But here's what happens when they rush. They treat the employees horribly in these places. They then race through the parking lot, almost hitting people, driving recklessly, sometimes on the road too. If you do this long enough, you start to recognize the cars, right? And then you recognize how people are driving those cars in different places. They deliver to the wrong house, or they take the food for themselves, all sorts of things. For the live stream, this is not my main story. I'll do my main story in a second. But on the live stream tonight, I dropped off Chick-fil-A to this person, and another driver was leaving as I arrived, and they had just dropped off another Chick-fil-A order to that same person. I have no idea how this worked, but it was not her. It wasn't the right address. It wasn't her name. He just dropped it off. He just gave it to her and left. And so then that person didn't get their food. The person who dropped it off with didn't want it. So she gave it to our family, which was kind of cool because I've got 3 spicy chicken sandwiches and a sweet tea and a Arnold Palmer in the fridge. I'm not going to complain, but all of it could have been prevented by rushing. So yesterday, we have one of our favorite pizza places in town is closing. It's called Aurelio's. They're out of Chicago. We're nowhere near Chicago, but they've had a place down here in our town for like 30 years, and they're closing their restaurant. And I got an order. I've been kind of, at first I was like, oh, this is going to be great. There's going to be tons of orders, but they're a slow restaurant normally, and now with extra orders, they're extra slow. But as I was driving by yesterday, they sent me a $40 order going like 5 miles on Uber Eats. Now, most of you who do Uber Eats know what that means most of the time. A $40 order on Uber Eats means somebody already picked up the order, they stole it, they didn't deliver it, and now it's just getting passed driver to driver to driver. Well, I knew that, but there's been once or twice that wasn't the case, so you still got to show up, right? You get offered $40 for 5 miles, you got to show up, you got to see what the order is, you got to, on the off chance that you just were lucky, you got to take it, right? So I show up, walk in. The hostess was there, the hostess who's been there for as long as I've been delivering. And she said, yeah, you're about the 8th person who's come in for it. I handed it to the first guy. He never got it. And all these skills that I've told you came into play. So because I've been patient with them over the years, built a relationship, I said, hey, I totally get if you can't. I understand. and it would have been too expensive for me to pay for. It wouldn't have been worth it because it would have been a $35 order or something. So, but I said, is there any chance, because I know with you guys closing, she's really going to want her order. Is there any chance this one time you could remake the order? And she took 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, did I get huffy and puffy? Did I mope and complain about this? I'm watching Instacart. I passed on a $30 Instacart order, and I just said, I'm going to go for it. And I just waited. She came back and she said, yeah, we'll remake it for you. Right? The testament of all the other times that I'd been in there, all the other times that I had been patient when other drivers had been in a rush, when other drivers had been rude. They remade the order. I delivered it. I had a great conversation. This is going to be in day 10. Whenever day 10 comes out, you're going to want to watch this because I documented the conversation I had with the customer, dropped it off, got the $41, which was like, at that point, I think it was like $35 base pay plus a $6 tip. And then the customer added a $20 cash tip on top of that because I took this situation where they kept getting assigned all these drivers and none of those drivers took the time to care and provide the customer service. Instead, in 1 hour, I just waited, was patient, took advantage of the relationships that I had built there, got them to remake the order without having to pay for it, took the customer service skills, talked to the customer, calmed them down, made them laugh, made them relax, reassured them that the order was coming. And suddenly this order that maybe would have paid $3 if I call Uber Eats, maybe, but most of the time they don't even reimburse me anymore, instead becomes a $61 order because I wasn't in a rush. So let me ask you, in that hour last night, do you think there were many food delivery drivers who made more than $61 in an hour last night in my market? Probably not. You know, there were probably one or two amazing catering orders out there that paid 60 plus, maybe one or two for a couple hundred drivers out there. You want to play that? Or do you simply go out, provide the best possible customer service, do all that? And then as a bonus, we went back to that pizza restaurant today as a family to eat as customers. And the hostess was super generous and nice to us and thankful. And another one, the host came over and he said hi and thanked me for being calm and nice over all those years. Like, these relationships matter. These people know you, they recognize you, they realize who you are. And when you can do this, right, over my shoulder here, serve, when you can serve people in this way, it just leads to blessings for everybody. So they had a great experience at the restaurant. This customer had a great experience. And in the end, I had a great experience as well. It would have been great even without the $20 cash tip, but to get a $61 offer, what an amazing testament to all the different things that you do. And it was fun because I was just sitting with my family and just having random workers from the restaurant coming up and saying hi. It was like, it almost brought tears to my eyes because I was like, they see something different in me. And that's what I wanted to be. And that's what I hope for you guys too, that you see something different in you. All right. That's my sappy story for the night. So I hope you guys appreciate that. And like I said, whenever day 10 comes out, I'm working on days 3 and 4. Okay. So I'm a handful of days behind, but I'm documenting all the way through. I'm going to document the whole month and I'll just get the videos out when I get the chance. But whenever day 10 comes out, you're going to want to see that. So what are you drinking tonight? This is the rest of the free Chick-fil-A sweet tea that we got. So it's actually just about done, basically. The other one was sweet tea and lemonade. I know that'll make it to the morning. Their sweet tea kind of goes bitter quick. So that's what I'm drinking tonight. Let me know what you're drinking tonight as well. So yeah. So I think the main question that I saw was regarding selling on Facebook Marketplace. So yes, Shane, I do sell on Facebook Marketplace. I have sold a lot. Oh, apparently I forgot to turn Grubhub off. That's hilarious. What is Grubhub sending us? $4.79 for 1.8 miles from Papa John's. See, I'm not missing much. I promise. I promise you, I'm not missing much by not being out. Water for Lisa tonight. So, yeah. So Shane, go ahead, ask away. I'll give you the basics on Facebook Marketplace. One, I think you should respond as fast as possible to every single person who contacts you, including each and every, is this available? And just like I have a notepad full of things that I use for food delivery, I think you should have that. Do I know how to ask for a seller rating? You know, I don't know the specific way. I've I've always hesitated to ask for ratings because I feel like it just opens you up more to the chance of getting bad ratings, but that's probably just my negative pessimistic view on the world. Here's what I would do. I would, after the sale is completed, Shane, if you want to go the route of looking for ratings, I would just say, "Hey, thank you again so much for meeting up, and it was a pleasure meeting you. Enjoy the item, whatever it was, your pleasantries." Just say, "I'm a relatively new seller on Facebook Marketplace, and it would mean a lot if you could leave a rating for me if you really appreciated, this experience," something like that. You could probably look up some other templates. I bet you there are some templates out there. I've just always shied, and this is true in food delivery. This is true in Amazon, eBay, Facebook. I've just always shied away from asking because I figure it's like, don't poke the bear, right? Like I don't want someone to be like, oh well, he smelled a little bit when we did the drop off, so now I'm going to leave him a 1-star rating. You know, maybe that's just overly pessimistic of me, but that's just. I'll put your question up though too, so people can see it. That's just the way I've always approached it. Like I don't want to poke the bear. Yeah, through Marketplace specifically, I've never done that, and I haven't. I'm just getting my Facebook Marketplace stuff back up, um, and I haven't completed any sales recently. I want to see if I can just look up an old. Okay, that's really funny. I just turned this off on Facebook Marketplace. Tesla Y. Can you guys hear me? I'm back. My goodness. It's just anywhere I go is internet connectivity issues. I just had to connect, like our whole house internet just went out midstream. How's it going, Presley? Sorry I missed you. Yeah, I'm back. This probably isn't going to last long because I'm literally all right. All right. Well, I'm here. So I would just kind of explore it. Maybe look up a video. Maybe look up a video about how to follow up on feedback. But I think all right. Sorry, guys. I guess I guess we're just. I think I'm going to cut it short here because there's no way my phone's going to be stable enough to handle this long term. Hopefully that helped you out a little bit here tonight and gave you some new ways to do that. Sorry, it is just